Hey everybody, welcome to another Sunday night chat. Blue will be right back. He was having some technical difficulties, but in the meantime, I have Dan
Welcome to another Sunday
and
night
my
chat.
rookie butt. Forgot
Blue
to
will
turn
be
that
right
off.
back.
Sorry about that. You'd think I'd figure that out by now. Anyway, I got Daniel. God is my judge. Why don't you go ahead and do an intro, man?
Hi. Yeah, I'm Daniel. Thanks, TR, for having me on. And how about this? How about posting the link down in the description box?
No, no, no. Wow. I won't call it a total train wreck, but woo. Anybody hadn't seen Rich 4150's chat last night, you might want to check that out, maybe. I don't think I can send. There he is. Let me send him one too while I'm thinking about it. All right. Blue's back. Do you want to do an intro, Blue?
We're already live. That's awesome. Thanks for the invite. As always, I'm trying to play catch up because my computer froze, but no, that's pretty much all I got. Thanks for the invite, and we'll see where tonight leads us.
All right. The heck? Okay. All right. Hey, inside. I'm sorry. We're still getting organized here. I guess the first thing to talk about the shutdown. I think it's pretty obvious what's going on. It's just not even it's not even, I know it's preaching to the choir here. It's not even a debate on whose fault it is. If you've looked into the facts and what's going on, I don't know how in depth y'all have looked into it or even cared. And I don't mean that bad. I mean, it's just like, okay, yeah, whatever, but, why the Democrats wouldn't go along with it. And they actually agreed on the only thing they had to pass was the budget. They actually agree with the budget. They have no problem with the budget being proposed. They're okay with it. Oh, yeah, okay, we got to have the budget here. Yeah, but they decided to bring up something that's not even up for a vote yet and use that to hold the budget hostage and then want to blame it on Trump. So what's your guys' take on this? Is that the way y'all see it, or you see it some way different? Or do you know something or angle that I missed? I mean, I can't say that I read in depth into it, but from what I gathered, that's pretty much what it is. Must agree.
Okay. Well, the way I see this, everything since Trump's been in office, and even before, the Democrats have voted as one solid block unified. And even though the Republicans own the majority of the House, they're still divided. And I mean, the Democrats know that. So they're just want to say, hey, you own everything, but you're going to keep fall flat on your face. They're not governing. They're just worried about the party. And I just think right there that people just need to start voting people out and put people in there to get a job done, because that's what they're being paid to do, is to govern and take care of the United States and not put their party above us, the people.
It's well said. And, I can remember at least several times, at least within the last, well, I'd say 15 to 20 years, that the government has had a shutdown. This isn't something new, and it's always the same BS, basically, to where, like what was just discussed, one party has a backdoor agenda, and they're just holding the budget as part of the, holding it hostage to try to get their other agenda put forward. I just Googled how many times has the government been shut down, and it just basically, it says 17. There's been 17 shutdowns, federal shutdowns, it says in modern times. So I don't know exactly what that means, modern times, but I know it's happened before. And there again, it's not one side is any better than the other, because Republicans have done it, the Democrats have done it. But I agree. That we need to start paying attention to this. And if the representatives or the, whoever we have up there, if we voted them in to do a job and they're not doing it, that has something completely nothing to do with the budget, get them the hell out of there.
Yeah, I've seen some people argue that Republicans did it in, I guess it was 2013. And I know if you've seen it, I know I posted it on Facebook about Schumer himself saying that, to them, the Republicans bring up, it was over the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, when the Republicans did it last, or at least attempted. I don't know even if it did a shutdown. I think it did, though. 2013. This 4 years ago, 4 years and a few months, however long it was, and or less. And Schumer himself said that's like bringing up immigration reform as a tool to block funding for the government. That's ridiculous. And he just went on a rant saying you can't do that. That's not the issue. And now he's doing the same thing. Well, plus Schumer, Feinstein, all of them, Obama himself said we need stronger border security. We can't have illegals pouring over to, into our country, draining or they didn't say welfare, but draining our public services, I guess is a good way to put it. And then here it is 3-4 years later. Oh, we got a Republican in Congress and a Republican House and Senate. Okay, we change our stance on everything. Whatever they want, we want the opposite, period. It don't matter what it is. And that's what they're doing. And I also have another theory on that, but we'll get into that. Not even a theory. It's pretty cut and dry. But
no, anyway. If I saw right, I mean, did you guys see where, like, I don't know, they agreed on damn near everything. I mean, it was, and this is here again, this is the news through social media, that the budget that Trump and or the Republicans wanted, let's just put the military part of it in there, that the Democrats came back and put the military budget like a lot higher than what they even were asking for. And there was a lot of that, like, across the board. Like, it looks like a setup to me, to where the Democrats are like, well, okay, we're, the Republicans are only asking for this much in this budget, this much in this budget. We want to give them this much. We want to give them this much more. We want to give them this much more on these certain line items. Keep it the same on some of the line items, but yet they're not willing to pass it because of that alternate agenda. That just, I don't. It blows my mind.
Well, I think Trump and, a lot of Republicans and all, I mean, as much as we wanted to say, and I'm not even that cold hard of a bastard to say, fuck it, they're illegal, ship them all out. Okay, they've been here for years, whatever. I think there's ways to deal with that. I've heard up to 1.8 million immigrants into our country legally each year. I know it's at least 1 million, but I've heard it's up to 1.8. So somewhere in between there, over 1 million, less than 2, somewhere in that ballpark. So you got these dreamers, and even Rand Paul actually proposed this a few months back. It's like, fine, okay, there's 800,000 dreamers, illegal children that got brought over by their parents or whatever, that fall into this window of dreamers. And okay, well, so we let in 1 to 1.5 million people in a year, put their name on a list. Let them apply for citizenship. We'll bump them up the line. Even we can put them on the list. Even if we can't put them all on the list this year or next year, we'll slot them. It might be 3 years from now, and then we'll let them apply. However they want to do it, but we can integrate them into the system. Now, this is a good compromise, I think. And it's like, okay, we let this many legal in. We're not going to change that number, but we'll add them to that list and let them apply and go through the citizenship. And in the meantime, we'll keep their visas, their DACA visa, whatever the hell, however they do it, intact. And Republicans are pretty much, they're not asking to deport all these kids. I don't think they ever have. Only thing they're asking is, yeah, we'll deal with that. We'll protect these children, young adults, as long as we make sure not let any more in illegally. And that's where the Democrats threw up the red flag. Said, oh, no, we're not agreeing with that. And that's where this whole thing spun out to. It's not that the Republicans wasn't going to protect the DACA kids and figure out a way to work this out. Well, however they're going to do it, it's just, it said, oh, but we're not going to do that unless we have, build a wall, immigration reform, more border security, and all that. And the Democrats said, oh, hell no, we're not voting for anything. Let's just shut the government down. Didn't even have nothing to do with the budget. Nothing. As far as the budget vote for the next fiscal year or whatever.
See, even the wall, that was approved back in Reagan's day. All they got to do is supply the money to build it.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's already been passed.
Yeah, that was a compromise back in Reagan.
And even Trump said the other day, is like, well, it's not like we're going to build a wall over the entire border. It's just where it's needed and where it needs to be reinforced, and just where the problem areas is, which makes sense, know.
And I've been a big pusher of the wall more as a metaphor. Use the funds to actually enforce the laws that we have now, to get the people on that front line, the border patrol agents, everything else, to get them well manned, well equipped, and actually enforce the laws that we have. I don't know. A wall is going to do nothing. An actual physical wall, I don't believe, is going to do a goddamn thing. It might slow it down just a little itty bitty bit, but I think that if you were to use the money to go for the wall and actually build from within and actually enforce the laws, speed up the court processes with that money, get more boots on the ground, I think that's the way to go. I don't think that we need an actual, in some places, without a doubt, we need an actual physical wall, but I would rather see the money spent enforcing the laws that we already have on the books, and that the laws are actually enforced.
That is a big thing, Blue. You're right. They need to enforce the laws. Actually, there's too many laws. But enforce the common sense laws. Take that money for a wall, build prisons, and prosecute and punish criminals.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be the biggest deterrent for crime. Instead of just going out there, it's like slapping them on the hand and give them probation. Put them in jail and punish.
Well, that's the whole thing with the DACA. And I've seen some people I won't say they're misinformed, but they don't understand. DACA was set to expire in March already. Trump didn't do a damn thing to cause DACA to be expired. The only thing he said was, I'm not going to renew it. It's illegal. Even Obama said, I put it on Facebook here earlier today, I think, or yesterday. Obama talked about how he, as president, can't do that. He can't just change the laws of immigration. It's not in his power. And he said after he'd even done it, he didn't think the Supreme Court would approve it. That I didn't post that, but I've seen that quote. It's it was a temporary fix to appease some people. It's illegal. It's not, because the laws are already in book. All you got to do is actually, to deal with DACA, you know what they actually have to do? Let it expire, and all the laws that's on the book apply to them as well. That's what will happen. They will be illegal immigrants. They won't have visas. They won't have work cards and all that. That's what they did. All they did was basically, if I'm not mistaken, what DACA did is it gave all the dreamers a work permit, whether they're working or not. It was, there's a work permit, program in place, and they just threw them in that program. Okay, well, we'll just put you under the work visa, work permit visa. But it already had an expiration date set. Trump didn't end DACA. He just said he wasn't going to re-sign it.
Yeah, he specifically said he was going to leave it up to the House to vote on it to make it legal or illegal. He wasn't going to touch it.
And he said exactly the right thing. The president does not make law. It's up to Congress, the House and the Senate, to pass laws. He's just approves or vetoes or whatever he does, but he can't make law. He can change regulations. He can do foreign policy, and he's done a buttload of changing regulations and things like that. He can do that kind of thing, but he can't make law. The president cannot make law. People don't get it.
And now, TR, you had said earlier that you can't see any government going in and trying to deport these kids and doing this and doing that. You remember a couple years ago, it's a very prevalent photo of, I don't remember what organization it was, storming a house or a hotel room, and they were trying to rip a kid out of some guy's hands, and it looked like they had, semi-auto rifles. They were ready for war. And wasn't that was that Clinton, under Clinton's administration?
Clinton, and it was in Florida as Cuban, if I'm not mistaken, a Cuban child. How it got to that, escalated to that degree, I don't know, but that was one of the things that they said that's why Bush won Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Because of that. And I'm sure it's true, even though that's debatable how that election went down, but it was very close either way.
I just hope we get a reinsurgence of the Tea Party again. I mean, just to get our voices out there and heard.
I don't know. I'm just in with everybody. We're sick of government. I mean, that's all there is to it. You have, and there again, I'm not all Trump. He's the greatest person that has walked the earth, but he sets out to do something, and it doesn't matter if he has eggs for fucking breakfast with a side of pancakes. As soon as he eats it, there's a lawsuit against him because he violated some anti-pancake clause somewhere. It's like, why are we spending so much time wrapped up in lawsuits against the president, which goes through the federal government, which wraps up the court processes? Tons of them. I can't even imagine the money. I would actually like to see how much money has been spent just on lawsuits filed against the president for his orders and stuff, just since the beginning of 2017 till the end of 2017, and see what that number is. Whenever he's technically, other than saying mean things, I can't say that he's actually overstepped his bounds on anything. There's been a couple things that he said where if he would have followed through with it, would have overstepped his president rights. However, he says shit to get people wound up, to get them going in a certain direction. But it's just, if anybody out in the external, if you guys can look that up for me, how much money has been spent on lawsuits versus Trump, I'd love to see that. How much taxpayer dollars has been paid?
Oh, in that avenue, what I think is hilarious, when they're going through accusing Trump of this and that, sexual molesting and all this other stuff, here the people that are screaming the loudest are getting busted for sexual harassment, sexual assault, embezzlement. Mm-hmm. And I mean, but they're all in the same party. I just don't understand that.
Even this latest one, it was like, oh, Trump paid off a porn star and blah, blah, blah. Even the woman that is supposedly was the woman that the porn star or stripper or whatever she was that supposedly took hush money and all that, she even denies it. When the woman that was supposedly had sex with Trump says, no, that didn't happen. And the news still blasted out. Oh, yeah. Yeah, look at this. We just found this. It's something from a couple of years ago or whatever. And it's like, even the woman's like, no, I deny that. It didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
And the news still flows through it. It's like the man and the woman that supposedly had this affair, both of them deny it happened. That ain't a Me Too situation. She ain't up there begging, looking for whatever and saying, oh, Trump did this. She's like, no, it didn't happen. And, and there's some reporters, oh, I got the inside. She took a payoff and blah, blah, blah. And they just run with it.
Mm-hmm.
And even the woman says, no, I didn't fuck him.
But you don't hear about Anthony Weiner, Weinstein, or who was that comedian that ended up being a big joke in D.C. and he just got busted for grabbing women's boobs and they're grabbing their whatever.
Hoo-ha. We can say
Al Franken. Al Franken, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I thought, well, I was a comedian at the time. That don't matter.
Today's world is not a good place to be a man. I mean, and you hate saying that, and I'm not down in the legitimate sexual, I don't want to call it misconduct, the sexual, not sexual harassment. If you go up and grab somebody's tits, by all means, you need arrested, you need to lose your job, you need to do whatever. However, with that said, where do you cut that line to where a woman can say something to a guy that can be taken sexually, sexual in nature, and the guy says something back to the woman and he's the one in trouble? Man, it's rough out there. Don't keep your dick in your pants and keep your mouth shut when you're around a woman anymore in the workforce. And you almost need to have a signed contract with a woman when you go out on a date. Do you mind if I kiss you? And she has to sign yes or no. Okay, we just kissed. Can I feel you up? You have to sign it before you do it. Because holy shit. I mean, this is. It's not just, yes, sir.
And that's just with the prostitute.
Right. God dang, I can't. I don't know. I can't even imagine.
I know in our lifetime, and from everything I'm seeing and reading, there's never been, I don't think there's ever been such hate against another party affiliation. I mean, as much as the left might have hated Bush or Reagan or Nixon. I mean, even Nixon, we'll go that far back. Nixon, even though I was a child, I don't know what was going on in the news. As much as people might have hated him, I guarantee it wasn't this insulting, this low down, our moral compass in America has fallen so low that even mainstream news will flat out lie, twist the truth. I mean, just it's crazy. As much as we hated Obama, I mean, I tried to base everything on facts. Well, he done this, or the Democrats, they shoved Obamacare down our throats. They did that. We didn't want it. They done it anyway. The majority of America didn't want it. They done it anyway. But I don't remember the slander going along with that when we had those discussions. I'm sure there was a hint of it. Just, well, freaking Democrats, they died. I'm sure there was some of that. But I don't remember, even during Obama's term, even during Clinton's term, the flat out just demeaning, insulting. I don't remember the president being insulted like Trump is right now by the press.
Mm-hmm.
They might have talked bad about him, but I don't remember the flat out just insulting. I mean, they throw racist out like it's a conjunction or something. It's just like a word. Just racist. That's all you hear. If you turn on CNN, MSNBC, NBC, racist, misogynist, narcissistic.
How is calling an area a shithole racist? You're not. Yeah. It's a shithole. Why is that racist? It's a shithole.
And I'll tell you what, 99% of the time, whoever goes there and starts yelling racist, they're the racist.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's true in a lot of things. The one that screams the loudest, the one that, that's like somebody being homophobic. The one that screams and has got the most distaste for transgender people, LGBT community or whatever, the one that yells the loudest, probably has some issues. I mean, I don't swing that way, but to be honest, it never really bothered me because I wasn't going out with them. I don't care who they date. Maybe I might hope I don't piss somebody off with that. I mean, I know some people have strong beliefs about that, and I get it. Whether you think it's wrong or not, I'm just same correlation, the one that screams the loudest about it.
Mm-hmm.
I know in my profession as an auto mechanic and as an industrial maintenance technician, I know the guy that brags the most on how good he is. That's the shittiest guy in the shop. I guarantee you he don't know how to screw in a light bulb. It's a little bit different, but it's kind of the same thing.
Well, since we're kind of on this, I got something to throw at you guys. This is not the school district that my kids go to. This is a neighboring school district, to where the teacher, and I don't know what grade this teacher, and I don't know if it's a male or a female, but the teacher during the Pledge of Allegiance in the morning would substitute some words, and instead of one nation under God, he would say, I said he, but it's a he or she, I'm not sure which. The teacher would be one nation under Allah, one nation under Muhammad, one nation under this, one nation under that. Well, it wasn't a huge stink that got raised, but at least a couple parents were like, look, I don't, no, that is not the Pledge of Allegiance. That is not this, that is not that. And the teacher apologized, said, it won't happen again. I was just trying to expand the kid's mind, as God can mean many other types of gods, and it's okay to believe in whatever type of God you want to believe in. And it would, I don't want to say swept under the rug, but it was basically swept under the rug with the I'm sorry's and it won't happen again. What is the opinion on that from you guys?
Well, I'm going to tell you right now that guaranteed that is not the only teacher that's doing that. This country was founded on Christian Judeo values, our Constitution, our right, everything. That yes, we have equal rights. We're not created equally as far as talents go. Not everybody's going to be a good auto mechanic, or not everybody is going to have the personal drive to earn money to be a millionaire. Some people just want to go out and live and be happy. But we all have that opportunity equally to do what we want. But they want to take our morals out and then turn around and tell us what our morals should be. And this whole thing is kind of gearing towards, softening up America and the youth to eventually conform to a one world kind of religion where we take everything, combine them, and the government says we want this part of this one, this part of that one, to where it's nonviolent and not offensive to everybody. And I mean, that's what it's about. And that's not the only teacher that's doing that out there. So you just see it a little micro, but this is going on all over the country. You see it in the daycare, like Ohio with the stars. Where the daycares are getting federal money by having lectures given to the teachers, and then people coming into the daycare teaching preschoolers about sex and relationships. I'm sorry, but when I was a little kid like that, I just wanted to play, and I didn't want to take a nap, and I want to know when's snack and what's snack time going to be.
TR, what's your thoughts on a teacher altering the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yeah, it's just just kind of what Daniel said. They're trying to teach this one world government, one world religion thing. They've been slowly indoctrinating it, even in our lifetime. But it was baby steps back in the 70s and 80s, and maybe even the 90s. But they've really, in the last 10 years, that crap has ramped up tremendously. I mean, it's just ignorant how fast and hard it's happened in the last 5 to 10 years. I mean, we see it in our colleges. Colleges have all, not want to say always, but probably in the last 30, 40 years, they've been somewhat liberal, but not, in your face liberal. But of course, there again, in the past 10 years, maybe 15 years, even colleges are very, very liberal, teaching that and indoctrinating kids into a socialism philosophy. Where all should be one. We all should be equal. We should all be the same. I mean, and they're really ramped up that, and I don't agree with it. Absolutely, I don't mind having both views. I don't think there's anything wrong with having opposing views. I mean, even like college debates, that was the whole point of it. Having when they done but debates, it was pros and cons of whatever situation, a left and right viewpoint of it, and but maybe I got off tangent there, but they should teach both sides, not one side right or left. Or
all right, but well, TR, here's my and there's a follow up. This teacher did something else fucking stupid just this last week, which I'll get to here in a second. But is this your views that it's okay for elementary through high school kids at public schools to be force fed this, or it should be not allowed during that public school, but once you go to college, you get what you pay for? I mean, okay, that's actually, I just said that's my personal view is,
well, on the Pledge of Allegiance, as far as especially if it's elementary, middle school, hell, I don't care if it's high school. If they start saying Allah, if they especially say Muhammad, if you've done any, and I know Daniel knows way more about it than I do, but if they said pledge, or Muhammad, but if they even mention the word Muhammad, wow, did they step over the damn line? I mean, it's bad enough if they said Allah. I mean, technically, and anybody can correct me if they want to. Technically, supposedly, Allah is just the Arabic name for God. So but I don't want them to say it in my public schools here in America. They can say it wherever the hell they want to in the Middle East. We speak English in America. Even if Allah is just Arabic for God, I don't give a damn. I don't know what the German name is. I don't know what the Icelandic name is. I don't know what the French name for God is. You're in America. You say God.
Okay.
And this is coming from an agnostic guy. Okay. But I don't agree with them saying Allah. And I definitely don't agree with them saying Mohammed. Period.
Okay. I'm just going to put a really quick thing here. One, Allah and God are two separate entities according to the Quran and the Bible. In the Quran, Allah is a trickster that can use lies and lie. In the Bible, God is completely without any lies or deceiving. So, I mean, that's by going by both books. So it does define them as two separate entities. But a lot of people go out and try to say, hey, it's the same God. No, it's not. And that's all I got to say about that right now.
Oh, well, thank you for the correction there, because I say that's what I've been told.
Yes, and a lot of people are being told that, but it is two separate.
And I have not read the Quran from cover to cover, but I've read a lot of the Quran. I know it's been translated, and people could argue that it lost its meaning in translation, but yeah, I don't agree with the Quran and the Muslim religion whatsoever. That's a fucking cult. I'm sorry. Period.
Are you guys ready for part 2 of this?
Shoot.
All right, part 2. Same teacher. There again, I don't know male, female. I don't know what grade. However, assigned the kids an essay. Who are the real terrorists, Muslims or Americans?
That was a essay theme they had to go.
Yep.
Really?
Yep. And that just happened last week.
Well, according to a few years ago, there was a government-paid think tank that came out with the biggest threats to America and the government. And do you know who was at the top of the list? I'll give you three of them: Christians, veterans, conservatives. And somewhere right around there was also your gun rights, Second Amendment people. So, according to that think tank and what they're putting out in schools and what that teacher is pushing, we're the terrorist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even in back when Bush was president, I've seen video where they was even calling our founding fathers the terrorists back then. And I guess technically, if you broke it down, yeah, because they were against the government at the time and blah, blah, blah. I guess you could break it down and say that. But the way they were presenting it, and then they got into, I remember seeing, they were the letters, if somebody's got any kind of Second Amendment bumper sticker on their truck or car or whatever, they should automatically be viewed as a potential domestic terrorist.
Mm-hmm.
This is in the, Bush's era, so yeah, this has been going on. It's a brainwashing that they're trying to slowly dig their heels in, dig their claws in, and point to patriots, just red-blooded freaking Americans. I ain't saying you got to have a pickup truck and a shotgun to be an American, but if you view other Americans that just believe in the way we live our life as wrong, I got a problem with it.
Mm-hmm. Now, TR, I think that you've said it on many, many occasions, but I just kind of want to reiterate this part of it. And this is the part, and TR, it's probably because I've heard you say it so many times that it was a red flag to me. The part where the teacher asks, who is the terrorist? The American, which you are, you're basically saying a society, we are a nation, or the Muslims. You're taking a nation versus a religion, and a religion versus a nation. That threw up the biggest red flag. I mean, it wasn't who do you feel are the biggest terrorists, Americans or Israelites, Americans or Pakistanis. It's a nationality versus a religion, and they're asking this group of kids to come up with a thought form, to which, I mean, I realize that terrorism has been happening since way back. I remember back in the day, the biggest thing was, somebody getting on an airplane with a bomb and blowing the airplane up, well, it was, how 10,000 feet in the air. That was what you thought of, at least me as a kid. That's what I thought of as a terrorist. It was with a airplane hijacking type deal. I don't know if I could ask any of my kids right now, what's a terrorist? And they would come back and say anything other than I have no idea. Because I try to keep them somewhat sheltered. I mean, my oldest kid's only 10, so I try to keep that somewhat in the back burner so they're not exposed to it right now. But if a teacher, any of my kids' teachers ever come up with that question, I would like to say I'd pull my kid out of school. I couldn't afford to do that, to send them to a private school. But God, I don't know. I think there should be a huge stink put with this school district.
Yeah, it's getting bad. Okay, I think I've shared this story before, but I'm going to force y'all to listen to it again. When I was going through college, or whatever, technical college, I had an English class. I was taking, I hate to say it, liberal arts, but just your English, science, history, that kind of stuff. And the English class I was in, or literature class, maybe it was literature. The teacher was, whoa, you want to talk about a hippie? And this was in the late 80s. I mean, she was tie-dye back then. She sat on her desk barefoot, Indian style. And I got nothing against that. I mean, that, whatever, love of life, whatever it was. I didn't have nothing against that. It was just kind of weird, but Anyway, we was reading something, some I don't know, I don't remember who it was, but she read off some story or whatever of this leader, whatever he was, I can't remember, politician, something. And she started randomly asking people in the classroom what they thought of what he said. I can't remember what was said, but I just remember she called on me, and I was like, it sounds like, I think I just said flat out communism. And I was like, sounds like communist talk to me. I don't think that, you know, I may have said socialist if I don't know if I was that educated at that time, but I know I said at least it was communist. And she's like tore into me. And she's like, you going, you know, blah, 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 blah. I want you next time you're in class. And the way the classes was, I think it was like a couple of days before I had to go back again. I was like, okay. And so I looked the guy up, and I brought in, the guys that were in the class were laughing like hell. I brought in a stack of books on this guy. He was some leader of some country. Turned out, guess what? He was a fucking communist. Flat out. And so I pulled out, and I had stuff highlighted, and she actually kind of patted me on the back. So, well, you proved your point. You followed through, and you was right. I was like, well, from what I read, what you said, that's what it sounded like to me. And it kind of blew her mind. You know, I think I popped her balloon because I think that's all she knew about them. You know, so even back in the 80s, they were pushing that liberal. They were, you know, that kind of teacher. I don't know that the school was pushing it. A school can kind of sway the way things are pushed by the people they hire. And looking back at it now, I can see, okay, they'll hire people like that because they know they're going to push that personal belief through their studies. Even if there's a standard of education that needs to be done, they still got leeway. And even the stuff they push, they can be anti that and give you a anti-view of that patriotism or whatever it is. They can sway it the other way and still teach that same subject. So if you hire the right people, you can get an agenda pushed, even if there's a curriculum set in stone. Just kind of saying that.
See, they're pushing the old school teachers out, and they don't care by any means that they're going to get rid of them. There's a teacher in this area that I personally know him, and he's a history teacher, so he's teaching history. The new younger generation teachers and administration that's come in don't agree with what he's teaching out of the textbooks, and they're doing everything that they can to harass him and to fire him. He's got a lawyer, and they've got a lawsuit against the school for harassment, and they know that this guy, he's going to win the lawsuit, but they don't care because it's not money not coming out of their pockets. It's coming out of the taxpayers' pockets, even though that they know that their main point is just to push him out and drive him out and replace him with someone that agrees with their agenda. Hi, Rick.
Hey, Rick, you there?
Yeah, my internet sucks tonight. Just want to say hi. You guys are going deep tonight. Jeez. Like it.
Going to get this far, but hey, you never know when you start a subject.
I was like, holy crap.
I see that.
Well, hello, everyone.
I see it. Buckeye Brian. Here's a good one. Buckeye Brian, my second grade teacher, science teacher, taught us the Statue of Liberty was green because of acid rain. And I could see children eating that stuff up and believing that the rest of their fucking life.
Mm-hmm. I remember the exact same thing.
It's green because it's fucking copper and it oxidizes. A lot of people don't know the Statue of Liberty is built out of copper. It's not a concrete structure. It's fucking copper.
True fact.
And that sign at the bottom of it, or a memorial, you know, give us your downtrodden, your poor, your whatever, blah, 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 blah. That wasn't any kind of American policy. The Statue of Liberty was a gift from France to us. It wasn't that America didn't put that thing up. French gave us that.
It doesn't matter. Whatever world ending, whatever comes out, the Statue of Liberty is always the first thing to get wiped out. Always. It doesn't matter if the aliens are coming. It doesn't matter if it's a huge tidal wave or whatever. She always gets knocked down first.
I got an idea.
True fact.
I got an idea for the Statue of Liberty and all those people that are violating that 32-ounce soft drink law. I think they should be punished. They should be given Neverdol, a rope, and hung out to polish the Statue of Liberty for drinking those big sodas.
That's a lot of brass polish, copper polish.
Wouldn't that be neat though? To see her all polished up as she was first presented or built in our lifetime. I don't remember anything other than that greenish color, or it almost looks concrete.
Well, she's been standing there for a long time.
All right, chat room. When was the Statue of Liberty put up? Somebody's Googling that right now.
That would be kind of cool to see it all freaking shiny like a big old gold trophy.
Well, I think that'd be as neat as hell.
Hashtag grab some rags and polish.
She was put up in 1885.
It was actually a tribute. They tried for years and years and years to get it built. There was a certain artist or whatever, and it was a kind of memorial to America for standing up to big government. It was over us taking, pushing the British out of America and starting our own country. It was a tribute to that, is why it was built. I think the guy that tried to build it started in the 1850s or 40s. It took that long to get funding and all that, but it was still from the French that gave it to us. It wasn't our monument that we put up for ourselves.
I would rather see millions of dollars go to clean her up so that we can see her in her glory like when she was first built than for the other stupid wasted money that the government puts out there.
Well, you can take people on, able-bodied people that's on government checks. Give them a job. Just like they did with the Hoover Dam and things like that. Do some work programs. Works programs, as they call them. If you're able-bodied, all right, here's your job. Here's a rag. Here's some polish. Get to work. Then we'll give you your damn check and your food stamps.
There you go.
That's it.
It's like the people that paint the Golden Gate Bridge. By the time they get done on this side, they start on over and keep on painting.
I got no problem with that.
Should be nice and pretty in a year or so.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a lot of people in New York. It shouldn't take a whole year to polish her, unless they made it a government.
Well, the hard part's getting to it. Like, it's very tall. It's not like you just get on an 8-foot ladder and grab your freaking mother's polish and start polishing away.
Oh, there's windows in the crown.
When they get near the top, she's a French woman, so they can shave her armpits while they're at it.
TR, I'm ashamed of you. That's a very sexist, and you're profiling the French. Shave your legs while you're at it.
You know what? If you want to get your American citizenship, you have to have 200 hours of polishing on the old Lady Liberty. How many people will go do that?
If they want to check, you should do it. That's the way I look at it. Now, I can understand people that's disabled, but blah, 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 blah. I'm just talking about able-bodied. There's too many able-bodied people on the damn system. I mean, that they're so, what is it, Kentucky or some other state here, a few counties are doing that. If you're able-bodied, they literally have to be looking for a job and prove it for their funds to continue. You know, of course, there's people raising hell. It may not be Kentucky, but it's somewhere. It might be Virginia. I don't know. But anyway, and there's a big, well, I won't say a big uproar, but enough that I've seen the story. You know, it's like, well, what's wrong with that? If you're able to work, you're not looking for a job, you just keep getting benefits. No. Let's change the rules.
That only works for the people that live nearby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean, you know, any trend's a good trend if it's in the right direction. I mean, I can understand it. Well, even unemployment benefits, I don't know how they are in every state, but in South Carolina, they don't even last so long, and people milk that as long as they can. I know for a fact, I've seen it. People come in and ask for application, or, you know, want to turn in an application. They're not qualified for the job. They're not even trying to get the job. They just need paperwork showing the unemployment office that they're looking for a job. And they'll, you know, go 6 months to a year on unemployment. It's because they don't want to work. And they're okay with that percentage of a paycheck they used to get is enough to live off of. You know, scam the system.
And that got extended, when Obama was in?
Oh, yeah. They had to. Hell, there wasn't no jobs. They could really be trying to get a job and they couldn't get one. But right now in America, I can't speak for every state, every county. I know where I live. If you're not working, it's because you don't want to. Period. If you want a job, I'm not saying you can make top money. You can make what you want. But there's not any reason you can't get a job other than you don't want it.
Yeah,
that's
good point.
in my area. And I know Greenville's a booming town in the South right now. So, but regardless, if you look at the unemployment numbers across the nation, they're the lowest they've been in years. Women's unemployment is the lowest it's been in decades. The black population, the unemployment is the lowest it's been in decades. Unemployment period is lower than it's been in 10 or 15 years or something like that. I think they actually said since the 70s, early 70s, unemployment's the lowest it's been since like the early 70s.
There's a question out there about California splitting into two. He wanted to know what your thoughts were on it. I can't remember who asked it. Let me see.
Yeah, you know more about it than I do. I know California seems to be two different states for living in a state.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, I've basically lived here all my life, but my 2.5 most favorite years have been these last 2.5 favorite. No, but they need to cut it a different way than I guess they're thinking. Like basically they want a north and a south. They need to just take all the cities and all those libtards right along the ocean and cut it that way, because the people inland are good people. You know, basically the north part of California is definitely more American, or more part of America than the part along the water. But for the vast majority of the state, if you just go inland a few hours, you could have a really good state.
Well, that's the split that I seen. It was mainly just the coastline, and not even all the coastline, but a good bit of the coastline. And that was it. That was the split that was being proposed, or what they want. It was just the coastline, like, okay, boom, y'all be a state, in the rest of California, which looked like 90% of California, will be a state.
Yeah, and that's the hard part, is because when you vote here, I always felt like my vote didn't do shit, because, you know, the electoral votes and all that stuff. But the if you were to get rid of all those, I mean, they're the most populated areas, you would definitely see a lot more red than blue.
Yeah, the Democrats definitely got a strong hold with San Diego, Los Angeles, San Francisco, and what other towns, cities, correct? like that.
For population wise, you pretty much hit the big ones. It's just along the coast, basically.
Yeah.
In the larger cities, like you said, those cities.
Yeah, you got 3 or 4 cities that make the decision for the whole state, and all the electoral votes go right there.
Yep.
And then
if anybody ever questioned the electoral vote versus popular vote, the Trump election should be a wake-up call and a reason to go back and do a little studying and look at some numbers. If there's ever a case for the electoral vote, the 2017 vote, 2016, however you want to look at it, anyhow, when Trump won, that was the best case for the Electoral College that I've ever seen or heard of. So 2 states basically couldn't decide who's president. New York and California couldn't decide who's president because that would have been that what tipped it over. You know, it's like, oh look, you got the popular vote, you know, which is debatable.
Yeah, but my argument on that is they basically take the population. I don't know all the ins and outs of it, so tell me if I'm wrong. But I think what does California have, like, electoral vote wise, like a whole shit ton, and I can't think of the number.
So like it's in the 50s, ain't it? At least
it's a lot, and I'm like, out of that 50 of them, basically all 50 are freaking blue, and I'm like, that is not. If I walked around right now, fire station, outside, anywhere, and I said, who did you vote for, or which one would you pick out of the 2? More than likely, you're going to see a Republican answer. You know, there's going to be obviously the other side as well. But when Obama got in presidency the first time, I'm like, okay, you guys, who'd you vote for? Who'd you vote for? Who'd you vote for? Who'd you vote for? So if you took a poll of 10 people, right, the percentage was 100% of, and I was like, how does the electoral votes show anything about the normal population of California? I mean, that's the part that used to piss me off. But we've had this.
Geographically, it's a blue. I mean, it's a red state. Population-wise, it's a blue state, just for those few cities.
Yeah.
But that gets back to the Electoral College. Even though California may get all those votes one way or another, they still have to. The sheer numbers of population don't dictate the election numbers. It goes strictly off those electoral votes. It's like, okay, so they got however many millions of people live in California. Wyoming's 3 or 4 electoral votes still count. You know, Pennsylvania. I mean, what do they call that belt that you're in? Blue. They was calling it something, Pennsylvania, because they were saying, oh yeah, Trump won't win those, but if he did, that would tip the balance. And it was PA and states that hadn't been red in forever, and that's what tipped it over. And then it was like actually, the Trump president, he won it by a landslide, electoral college votes.
Mm-hmm.
Popular vote, it was damn near dead even. They say that Hillary got a little bit more. That's debatable because of all the illegal votes and stuff like that. So, but it was pretty close. But electoral college wise, Trump won by a landslide.
Yeah,
and that's why it's there. So Wyoming, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, freaking Mississippi, whoever, their votes count in the electoral college. If you just went by strictly popular vote, well, New York, LA, Atlanta, some of these big cities, they could decide the entire fate of the entire country. Just 4 or 5 cities.
Yeah, but think of the power electoral wise that California has against that. If you have 55 electoral votes, it's going to take Wyoming and basically everything below it and over one to even count as close to that.
Yeah, and that's what happened though.
No, trust me, I'm excited about it.
Yeah,
but it's.
I mean,
the power of those states like New York and California, like fuck.
Yeah, they are very powerful, and that's why everybody should get out and fucking vote. I know I see people, especially in my circles and Facebook and stuff, your vote don't count, blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, okay, what about Trump? Don't tell me your damn vote don't count.
Yeah.
You got to do it whether you think it counts or not, Now, if you live in a state like California and you're voting for president, yeah, in a lot of ways, your vote probably is not going to count if you're against the grain in that state. But there's other offices that's being voted on as well. So you got to take the whole picture in. I mean, you still may be on the losing side. You may be the underdog every time. But if you don't go through the trouble to do it, even knowing that you're probably going to be overwhelmed, I'm not saying you can't voice your opinion. I'm not one of those, but do it anyway. Mm-hmm. Doing the right thing is never wrong.
All right. And my mom was one of those people that never, ever, ever voted until this election. And it was that, all this talk that Trump's not going to be able to do it. He wants to do too much stuff that is against the norms, but it's what most of America seems to have wanted. She's like, you know what? Hell with it. I'm going out to vote. And I can't remember the last time. Like, I know she's registered to vote, but I don't know the last time she actually went out to vote until this last presidential election.
We got a question out there about where's it at? Soylent Green is asking about the BS ATF trying to pull on January 25th. You guys familiar with that? I know they got basically a questionnaire out there, or a format where you can voice your opinion on the ATF website. I don't know if you guys had a chance to go over there and do that yet or not, but it's almost like they're getting everybody's opinion on it before they do any rulings or anything.
Well, they did that on the green tip 5.56 ammo as well.
What's the actual question?
I think it's over the bump stocks, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, correct me, but I think it's over putting the bump stocks in the classification as like you got to get a tax stamp to get a bump stock.
Well, that's basically that, the bump stock, and any other device that can increase the rate of fire, not machine gun style, but anything that increases the rate of fire, basically.
No,
so you're talking about like
the triggers,
the echo triggers, and all the different gizmo gadgets and shit out there.
Yeah, and to be honest, I know most people out there would think these are novelty items. I don't think they're very tactical or whatever. But the problem with that, and it probably is a good thing for everybody to voice their opinion. I don't have the link. Look it up. You can find it. I know some YouTube channels. I just watched one earlier today on break or something like that.
Such has one that just came out, I think, today or yesterday.
The problem with it is if it starts talking about modified triggers and things like that, is it could be later down the road, if not right now, if they passed it. That could be your Timmy trigger or your whatever trigger, really, 3-pound trigger in AR. It could possibly be used against you in, say, any trigger modification.
And
so
that's
be careful with stuff like that.
And that's a good point. If you have the time, get over there. Just tell them you don't feel this is a item that needs to be regulated by the ATF, and it's does what it's not. Remember, full auto means you just hold it down. So every time they tested it, which is I think the third or fourth time now, NFA and ATF are saying it's not basically a machine gun. It's because you're pulling the trigger every time, even though it's jerking back and forth and basically doing it for you.
Well, the thing about it, you can bump fire without any. I can take any semi-automatic rifle and bump fire it. It just makes it a little bit more controllable, a little bit easier to do. But you can bump. People have been bump firing with AKs and ARs for decades. If you get it, if you practice, you can shoulder a damn AR and bump fire it without any kind of damn special stock or anything. I ain't saying I could do it, but I guarantee you if I practice at it, I could figure it out. You're just using the recoil of the gun to move the gun and holding your hand still. That's all you're doing.
Well, that's kind of the problem too is, this thing's going to worry people basically. And I think on Such's video, he kind of explains it, but you're going to need to go to the site, right? And you're going to need to put your email. And most people are like, oh my God, I'm going to be on some list or something. But there's like, I don't know what it is, 3,000 agents or 2,000 agents. And if you're not doing anything illegal anyways, what the hell's the difference? But the more people that get out there and show that there's a big, push, even though like this isn't stuff that I would normally want to purchase, but this is one of those infringements that could come upon us. And living in California as many years as I did, I saw so much. And and if you have the ability to fight the next issue or problem, and this is going to be for everybody, it's not going to be a California thing, it's going to be a everybody thing. We need to get out there and basically fill out the thing. It may take us 5 minutes and we have to put our email address, but who really gives a shit? Like,
yeah, California
do it. Get it done. It's just as important as voting.
Yeah. In California, about the only AR-15s they allow now is bolt action AR-15s.
You gotta have some weird grips, and you gotta have all this fucking retarded stuff, and yeah, it's stupid. I watched a guy the other day shoot a tournament in California, and he's like, bing, 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 and then he had to put a tool in to make his mag drop, and then bing, 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 and then, and I'm like, holy fuck, like, geez, at least everybody has to do it, but I'm like, this is just dumb. So.
Yeah, well, that's that liberalism, that uneducated. Okay, I won't even say liberalism. It's a uneducated people making decisions about stuff they have no idea about over random acts of violence that can be done in other ways. And it's not that you're making it easier with a gun. If your intent is to harm and kill people, you can do it. You can do it. If you put your mind to it, you can do it. And no law in the world is going to stop you. What was it? 2 years ago? 3 years ago? Had one of the shootings in France. The guys had full auto AK-47s. Full auto AK-47s in France. Guess what? You can't buy AK-47s in France, especially full auto AK-47s, but they had them. Anybody with, at least a handful of brain cells can figure out how to make a bomb, or you can use a car or truck, transfer truck. That's been proven here lately in the last few years, time and time again. If you want to kill people, you want to maim people, injure, whatever, ain't no stopping you. There's no stopping you. You're going to do it. And no law you can pass just because it's easy to buy a gun, semi-automatic or whatever. Your ill intent is the problem, not how you do it. I know it sounds fucking elementary and makes perfect fucking sense to the choir I'm preaching to, but think about it. Next time you hear some conversation about that, please interject something like what I just said into it, because if people want to do ill harm to other people, it's going to happen. It's going to fucking happen.
And I see a lot of stuff about California out there. You guys got to remember, if you're not from California, we talked about the state of California and how they want to cut it and stuff. There's a lot of great people out there that are law-abiding gun citizens just like you and me that enjoy shooting all the time, have great gun collections, pro Second Amendment people, and they're the ones behind enemy line. They're the ones that have been fighting this shit forever, and you can't write them off as a shitty state. These guys have been fighting against a non-winning game for years and years and years, and they're trying to comply to stay out of jail and to apply with all these dumbass rules each time they change them, and there's just hundreds upon hundreds, it seems like, over the years. But remember, those are the same people, and the other states get their dumb ideas from this dumb state, you know, and those could someday, you could be looking at those come down your state. So the more we can help all states, the better off we'll be. With that said, though, there's lots of shooters in California, and they had trouble getting like 100,000 signatures for to pass the thing. So with that said, they need to do a better job as well of fighting their own fight. So don't get me wrong, I'm just saying, you know, but there is a lot of great people out there, a lot of good shooters, and a lot of people that you've met here. I mean, Mario's one of them. He lives in California.
Well,
you know, you got the Daily Shooter, and
yeah, the Daily Shooter was putting out videos like, look, let's go sign this petition and all that. And like you say, they couldn't even hardly get 100,000 people. And it's like, even the minority red population, and I hate to say it like that, but you know, conservative, gun loving, Second Amendment, constitutional people in California. And that's the problem. You got, I don't want to say California's full of FUDs, because I mean, y'all are all into AR-15s and this and that and whatever. But I understand the overwhelming, you know, you're outnumbered. But just remember,
you know you're screwed every year when the new laws come up.
Yeah, you're outnumbered, but at the same time, knowing that, even if you lose every fucking time, if you believe this is wrong, go vote, sign a petition, go to the town hall, whatever. I don't care if you're a minority every time. If everyone that owns a gun or believes this is wrong or whatever, instead of just throwing their hands up and saying, well, hell, we outnumbered, what the hell? Because the people in the majority, and we should know this as conservatives, constitutional, whatever people, we should know this firsthand. The ones in majority are not the ones that show up in droves. The ones that's anti are the ones that show up in droves. And let me explain this. Okay, the laws are in place, everything's fine. Everybody's complacent. You know, we're gun owners, we're complacent. Hey, ain't nothing affecting me or whatever. And something happens or whatever it is, maybe not guns is the right thing to use, but the anti-crowd, just like the anti-fascist, the anti-fa, they are the ones that come out in droves. They're actually the minority, but they come out in droves. They get the attention. They get their message across. So if you use that mentality in California, even though maybe the majority supports this new gun law, if the minority show up full force, even though they're a minority, the majority won't show up in full force. The minority will drown out the majority. I'm not saying, I'm not pulling from democracy, a full democracy. I know we're not a democracy, we're a republic, but you know, if you use that same mentality and that same tactic the other way, because like in California, they're trying to pass all these gun laws. Well, they're not trying, they are. But that silent minority, if they would get up off their ass and voice their opinion and show a full force, if you had 100,000 people marching at the California Capitol about the bullet button, they might back up and, well, maybe we need to talk about this. But if only 70,000 people sign a petition in a state that has tens of millions of people in it, they're like, whatever. You know.
Yeah. And then they get the bullet button passed, and then the next new city council shows up, and they're like, yeah, this bullet button, man, when you hit the button, it turns it into a machine gun. You're just like, fuck. Like, you made us put this stupid ass bullet button on. And now you're calling the bullet button some crazy, freaking fancy full auto buttons. It's like, come on, oh my god.
Yeah, and just think of that ghost gun that shoots 30 caliber bullets. What was it? 1,000 rounds a second or 3,000 rounds a second. And if you hit that bullet button,
yeah, you gotta have that bullet button in.
I was thinking about getting me one after I heard that.
I know. I had a bunch and they didn't work. I kept trying them out. I was like, what in the fuck's wrong with these things?
All right, Rick, you guys out in California, you've had legalized marijuana for a while, and or medical marijuana.
Medical, but not
recreational.
Yeah, not recreational.
Okay. The question I have for you, in Pennsylvania, we just recently passed, there's laws that are in the books to where they are legalizing medical marijuana. However, a stipulation on that medical marijuana card is that you forfeit all gun rights. Did you say, I know you're not a resident of California now, but did you guys run into that whenever the laws were first passed? Because your state laws, even though the state law was saying that, yes, we can use medical marijuana, federal law still says you can't own or purchase a firearm because medical marijuana is a scheduled drug, and they wouldn't sell a gun to somebody that had.
It's on the federal form. What is it? The 24-4 or the regular form you fill out to get it.
Right.
So it asks if you take drugs or whatever. When you get a concealed permit in California, at least in the county I was in, they asked if you take drugs or have taken drugs. But no, I think that's going to be a big component of it, and that's where you're going to have to figure out if getting high and eating Fritos all night is more beneficial than losing your gun rights.
Well, see, and here's the part that I don't agree with. There's enough research out there that says that, marijuana on its own, but I'm talking medical marijuana, it can blast some cancer cells. It can do this. It can do this. It can do that. I mean, it's the pros seem to be outweighing the cons. So if the state government is willing to say, look, we're going to make marijuana legal for medical purposes, you have to go through your medical card. You have to do this and that.
Yeah. Once you do that, you're basically giving it.
But you're still being held hostage if you opt to go for the medical marijuana for whatever your issue is, and you lose your gun rights. The way I understand it, though, is if you're at a point in your life to where you're at the end. Medical marijuana is like one of the last things that's going to stop the tremors, stop this, help you beat cancer. Probably the last thing on your mind is owning a gun, but still, I don't think that's right. I mean, that's worse than. You're on fucking the worst antipsychotic drug ever. That doesn't keep you from getting a gun, but God forbid you're on a medical marijuana, and now you no longer, by federal regulations, can own or purchase a gun.
No, and just like seeing, well, you especially as a cop know, but if you had, what would be the spousal abuse? What's that called? Domestic abuse or whatever? So. Yeah. When that's considered something that happens in your household, right? Most gun owners that appreciate their firearms, like love to go out and shoot and never want to lose that, know that, hopefully they know that any type of home kind of disruption or something can really affect your ability to, your concealed weapons permit and your ability to even own a firearm. So now you go on the other end. Now there's like another thing that can fuck you, right? And that is the legalization of marijuana. It's still not legal federally, and federally is where the guns are stored, basically.
Right.
So you would assume if you go and you say, you know what? Well, and here's the thing, though, too, that's kind of against what you're saying. So let me keep going down the same road.
Hang on to that thought for a second. Daniel's got to go. Later, Daniel.
See you, Daniel.
Bye, Daniel.
You guys are giving me all flashbacks, and I'm getting the munchies, and I'm going to go buy a box of Ho-Hos. Good night, everybody. Thanks,
And
TR.
All right.
See you later, Daniel.
Later. Well, I think on this same subject, not trying to disrail anything. I know I hate to keep referencing Facebook, but that's just kind of where I see a lot of stuff. I kind of use Facebook as a medium to kind of get a general idea of what people are thinking, left, right, pro, con, whatever. Just even if I think they're on the same wavelength as me, I still see some things that I see them. The marijuana subject. Let's just take that. That's what we're talking about. I see a lot of conservatives, libertarians, whatever, and they were like raising hell because Sessions said that they were going to go after states and people in these states that were passing these recreational use marijuana laws. Trying to be an optimist, I saw it as an opportunity, and reading between the lines, because Sessions even said, this is the laws that's on the books. We're going to enforce the laws that's on the books. Kind of what Trump said about DACA and Dreamers and immigration and everything else. These are the laws on the books. We're going to enforce the laws on the books. That's our job. That's what you elected us for. That's what we got put in position for, to enforce the law. And right now, there are laws being passed in different states, California, Colorado, different states, where they're passing the marijuana laws or whatever. Just like you said, Rick, it's still against federal law. What they're doing is forcing the hand of Congress and the Senate and the House, Congress. And I don't think people get that. Just like the DACA thing. Trump said it's not, I can't make law. It's up to Congress to make law. So I'm going to throw it in the lap of Congress. Get off your fucking ass, pass a law. What do the people want? What do you think's best for the country? You do that. And the same thing with marijuana. When I seen that Sessions said that, I saw it right off the bat. And I couldn't believe that people didn't get it. Because I seen people on the conservative side, libertarian, all that, just raising hell about Sessions saying he's going after marijuana smokers. It's like, he even said in his speech, this is the laws that's on the books. So if you're in California, if you're in whatever state, Colorado, I don't give a shit, to South Carolina, and you raise hell at your representative or your senator, that's like, look, marijuana needs to be declassified as a class 1 drug or whatever it is, however they rated it, and make it more like an alcohol or cigarettes, nicotine, whatever the hell you want to do. We need to reclassify this and make it not an illegal drug. That's what Sessions done. If you fucking pay attention, he just said he's going to enforce the laws that's on the books. So it's up to Congress to change the law. No appointed nobody can change the law on marijuana. It takes Congress to change the law on marijuana. So they opened the door, because as soon as Congress, if they said, okay, we're going to declassify marijuana as class whatever drug it is, and we're just going to regulate it and tax it like cigarettes or alcohol or whatever it is, and then Sessions going to say, okay, there you go. That's the law. We back it.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's what, if there were, which I know there's been research. I know that there's been, I don't know what they're actually called, but the scientific papers that are put out there that says, and I'm just going to keep calling it marijuana because it irritates a certain person, but the marijuana, that it has a great medical purpose. I'm not saying recreational. Maybe that's for a nationwide recreational purpose. That might be a huge step, but make it at least medical. That if you have a medical card and they have shown that medically it can cure this, it can get rid of this, it can help you with day-to-day life because of this. If you go to a doctor and the doctor prescribes it, that should have no negative effects on you as a citizen for any of your rights. You know, I'm not saying the recreation.
That's what I was trying to get at, Blue, is if it's recreational and it's just a wave of everybody can do it or whatever the case is, then there's no paperwork involved. But once you go medically, you got to have your card, right? And the card's a fucking joke anyways, because I have friends, kids that are like, oh, I can't sleep, or I have an eye pain, or, this is just stupid shit. Not real stuff, but they're getting cards, right? This is before it went, everybody can do whatever, whatever. But then there's paperwork, so a doctor has to fill that out, which is basically a joke card anyways. But the other way, it would only be you lying on your federal form, which is illegal, that says you don't take drugs. When you fill out the form when you buy a new pistol or a rifle.
Well, Jared, I'm not sure how you're supposed to pronounce that. He put out there that Sessions was his representative, and he said in the speech, change the law. He literally said change. I was thinking he said it, but I wasn't exactly sure. But he flat out said it. Until you change the law, we're going to have to enforce this law. So change the law.
Now they have to change it federally, though, in order for
exactly. Well, that's what he was saying. It takes Congress to go in there. You don't have to mess with heroin, crack, blah, blah, blah. But you can say, you know what, marijuana, we're going to do. And I don't agree with it. I know people are like super libertarian out there and sometimes don't understand what I'm saying and don't agree with me. And that's cool. I don't care. But it is what it is. Okay. I live in reality. We got to take our victories when we can, even if they're small victories. So if they go in there, if Congress goes in there and says, well, okay, let's put marijuana in the same classification as alcohol, which falls under federal guidelines, alcohol, ATF. We'll put a tax on it. We'll regulate it. We'll, inspect places that sell it and blah, 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 blah. If you're caught driving intoxicated with marijuana, you're, what, blah, 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 all that shit. But don't hit people with fucking felonies because they smoked a fucking joint. Really. If that's what it takes, here's my compromise. We're going to tax it. If you get caught driving impaired, it's just like a alcohol-related DUI. You can't work impaired. Your employer can fire you, blah, blah, whatever.
Yeah.
But you can go to the store and buy it. And you can get home, kick back, watch a fucking movie, a football game, and smoke a joint and not have any fear of doing anything illegal. There is your compromise. What's wrong with that? I don't believe in big government, but come on. I don't have any problem with that compromise. If they said I could smoke pot today at work and blah, 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 I really don't give a shit. I like drinking beer. I don't want to smoke a joint, but if you want to smoke a joint, smoke a fucking joint. I don't care.
Exactly. And that's my point. I don't think it's ever hurt any. You know what I mean? I know right after it got it legalized in California, there was an officer up north that got hit basically on duty and died. And they wanted to push it as a pot thing, but the guy was on alcohol and possibly other stuff. So I think they were really trying to push that as kind of the thing because it just got okayed. But
well, as a former pothead in my high school years, and knowing others, if you mix alcohol, yeah, you may be driving too fast. But if you just smoked a joint, more than likely you was doing 30 miles an hour on the fucking freeway and got rear-ended. So it's still dangerous, but I don't ever remember driving too fast being high. With alcohol, yeah, you get, you're fucking 10 foot tall and invincible. With marijuana, you're driving 20 miles an hour and it feels like you're going at the speed of sound. But I understand, you know, people impaired causing accidents, stuff, get them off the road. They shouldn't be there. I get it. That's why I'm on this chat. It's the best bar I ever had. This is the best bar room I've ever visited in my life. Because when I get done with this chat, all I gotta do is stumble to my bed.
Exactly. Good point. Good point. And you know what? There is a lot of medical benefits to cannabis, so I think why not? Why not? The only thing that's they're gonna riot is Cheetos and Doritos and Funyuns and pizza and
cookie dough ice cream.
And what?
Cookie dough ice cream.
And cookie dough ice cream. Other than that, you should be fine. As long as you're not in the local convenience store when they run out of Doritos.
Getting back to the story just real quick, and I'm going to change subject and get serious on another subject right quick. Fuck it, we've been serious the whole time. We might as well continue. I get story of my first wife. Bear with me if you've heard this story before. I've been drinking. I worked today. I'm tired and fucking exhausted. Anyway, this is back in the 80s. Before we were married, this is high school years. Some friends told me about it. My, at the time, future wife, girlfriend, was high. And she had this piece of shit old fucking car. And it's a funny story. I'm going to fuck it up. But anyway, so she's driving up the road, down the road, whatever. And she says, she was telling me the story. And she said her friend come up beside her and was knocking on the window. She's going down the road in her mind. Knocked on her window. The car had stopped. She was going up a hill. The car had fucking stopped. She still thought she was going up the road. So she rolled down her window and they were like, "What did you stop for?" She was like, she said, I forget exactly what she told me, but she's like, "How are you keeping up with me?" or something like that. Didn't even realize her car broke down. She was sitting in the road. So there's pot versus alcohol 90 miles an hour into a hairpin curve.
Yep.
The statute of limitations is definitely over. I was never a pothead during school or anything like that, but I did decide to try it like once or twice. And the one time it was like right after work. And the small town that I worked in, it was I worked as a petroleum transportation engineer, and I pumped gas. But what ended up going was I left work and I went to the local Subway, and I'm standing there, and the lady, all she did was looked at me, and she's like, "Man, you look half baked," and I freaking lost it. I could not stop laughing, and I had to have my buddy had to come pick me up because, I mean, it completely screwed my mind, and that was like the last time I did it. It was like, nope, I'm done. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it probably affects, I mean, it's just like alcohol or any other drug. It affects people different, but I went to order a goddamn sub and I couldn't move because I literally thought I was going to stand there and piss myself because I couldn't stop laughing. I couldn't breathe. I mean, I don't want to say it was a panic attack, but I was laughing so hard because she's like, "You look half baked." And I was like, "Well, I was out in the sun all day pumping gas." And I couldn't stop laughing. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't talk. And thankfully the buddy come in and he's like, "Dude, we got to get you the hell out of here." Because, I mean, you know, we were a small podunk town. Like, Christ, it was maybe 500 people with one local cop. And it was like, "Nope, you're out of here before you get arrested." And
because the whole town will be talking, "Did you see that damn Jones boy down there? He was fucked up out of his mind." Cost me on the gun check. There you go, revolver fan. There's your gun check. GP 100, 357 Magnum, 4-inch barrel. Gun check. Yes, it's loaded.
I gotta shoot that next time I see you.
I love that gun. All right, real quick. Okay, unless y'all got something else y'all want to talk about.
Go ahead, change it up.
All right, it's 11:16, so we got a few more minutes. All right, I guess you guys have heard about the new YouTube policy. Since we're on YouTube, might as well talk about it. Monetization policy.
Yeah, is it under 1,000 subs and 800 hours?
4,000 hours in the past year.
Wait, what?
You can't monetize your YouTube channel if you have less than 1,000 subs and less than 4,000 hours of viewership in the last year.
Damn.
It mainly affects small channels, and I'm seeing a lot of. I don't want to down anybody. I mean, I've been doing YouTube since 2010, so I've been at this going on 8 years, or 8 years, whatever. Or going on 8 years. I don't forget what month I started. Trust me, if you have less than 1,000 subs and less than 4,000 hours of viewership, you're not making money on YouTube anyway.
Are you saying 400,000?
No, 4,000.
Oh, I was like, damn.
4,000 hours.
Yeah, 4,000 hours.
All right. Well, just in the last month, I have a smaller channel. The last month, I have 85,880 minutes watched.
Yeah.
What is that with hours?
How many hours is that?
I'm not good with math. Give me a second.
Divide by 60.
I know that part, but all right, let's just go. I'm just going to go 86,000.
Yeah, just figure it out.
Divided by 60. That's that's 1,433 hours. Yeah, 1,433 hours. And that's just in the last 30 days.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So for any smaller channels, I don't know how to put this. I mean, we're all small at one time. We all started out with 0 fucking subs. Every one of us. Keep making videos. Try to have content. And just keep plugging along. Because until you hit that, I've been doing this for 8 years. I have over 6,000 subs. I'm not going to tell you what I make because I heard that's against YouTube policy. So it could kill my monetization, that little bit of money.
It's less than an AR.
Yeah. There you go. I make less than the AR a year. And I got 6,000 subs. I looked it up. And even with my viral video, I had right at 40,000 minutes of view time. And I still made just enough maybe to buy AR. That's after 8 years of fucking doing videos, doing 2 chats. And see, the chats, 2 chats a week for over the past 2 years. Okay, we're only talking about a year. But, doing 4 hours worth of chats every week for a year got me to that point, and I still, with the money, could maybe buy AR. So if you're just starting out and you got 100 subs and they took away your monetization, trust me, you didn't lose anything.
Well, and I always hate the people that say, because I got great friends out here, and Scotsman's one of them. Like, he doesn't really care if he makes any money. It's the friendships that we build, and I totally agree with that. But what I'd say is, can I give you 2 free boxes of ammo or 4 boxes of free ammo? Like, would you take 4 boxes of free ammo? And your answer hopefully is yes, because I just fucking wouldn't make sense if you'd say no. So even though it's like dimes and pennies and shit, like, it's free bullets or free, phone case or clip or something,
Well, let me play devil's advocate for a minute. Like I said, I've been here since 2010. I was under the Fun Fisher channel, and after a couple of years, I started TR Prepper channel. So I've kind of seen YouTube over the last 8 years. That's not forever, but in YouTube land, that's for fucking ever. I think anyway. Used to, you had to meet a requirement. You had to apply. You had to beg to be a partner. They didn't just automatically give it to you when you hit a point. You had to apply for it. And then they switched it, and it's like, okay, after 1,000 views or whatever, we'll give you partnership. And here in the last year, when they got in trouble with their sponsors because they was putting ads on any fucking video that come up, pretty much. I mean, you could do a video on how to watch me throw up. And then, Chevrolet would see that. What the hell are you putting our ad on this guy throwing up? That's where they fucked up. And that's where all our monetization got jacked from us. And they quit monetizing a lot of videos, the gun channels and different, I'm sure other venues and different things, because the sponsors that were paying for these ads, this is my point of view. I know it sounds easy for me to say because I got the viewership and all that. I didn't get the letter. But think about it. Any idiot that goes up there and starts just making videos, you could easily hit like 1,000 views. If you put up enough videos, you put up a video every day, somebody's going to click on it even by accident, And then all of a sudden, like say Chevrolet or whoever, their ad gets flopped onto that video, and then all of a sudden they said, holy shit, we don't want to advertise, we don't want our advertiser money spent on that. So I hope I'm not pissing anybody off, and I am. Just bear with me. Just think about it. If you don't have a viewership, if you don't have a core base where you got regular people watching you, even my idiot videos, at least I got somewhat of a following, and they know, okay, we put an ad here, X amount of people is going to see it. I think this is where they're going with it and why they're doing it. Plus, you can't just put up, okay, all right, here's my puppy shit in the floor, and it went viral.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you made, $4,000 off a video. I've never done that. Don't get me wrong. I hadn't made $4,000 on YouTube, period.
That's what, 4 million views to get $4,000.
Yeah.
Something like that.
But, I just want to say, if you're starting out, you got 250 subs, and don't get pissed off that they took your monetization away, because until you establish yourself, it's like your job, your career, it's like anything else. Until you prove yourself as a viable asset, even if they run ads and they just don't give you the monetization, think about it in that point, because I've seen a lot of videos, people just like, oh my God, they took away it's censorship. No, it's a fucking private company. They can do whatever the fuck they want.
Well, people don't realize either. I was talking to Jarhead one day, and he's like, oh man, this was, a couple years back. I'm like, how do you put out so many videos? He's like, well, think of it this way. He's all, if I do a video, and this is way before he was only like at 2,000 subs or 2,500 subs. He's like, if I do one video a day and I get 100 people, or let's just say 50 people to watch it, but I do one every day for the week, I can times that by 5. Like, that's what people don't understand. And like old videos that I have some that are, like over 100 and something thousand views, but I get 20 views from that old video. Well, in a couple from this one and that one. And after you have 600 videos, you're getting all those minutes, even though they happened way back when. Well, that's how those companies or channels can actually make 1,000 videos out there, and everybody watches just, you get 5 people just to watch each one of them somehow within the day. That's a lot of views. That's a lot of minutes. And think about, I think they cut off the live they might have, I don't know if that happened or not. But if you do a live video like TR does or something, think about the watch minutes that are happening right now. I don't know how many people are on here because I have the side thing
50.
split off. But like say it's 60 people and they watched it for just 30 minutes, 60 people, and then, you know, another 60 people watched it for 30 minutes. Like those are a shit ton of watched hours. Like when you click on your little thing and it says, you know, you have 357 days of watch views on one day, that's basically that many people watching your videos enough to be 1 year's worth of watching videos. Like they all add up, those little tiny little pieces. It's like,
Yeah,
but it's supporting all these guys, you know, all you guys that work together as a community. That's what we are. Subscribe to people you don't even if they don't do videos, they're not going to get the watch minutes, so that's not going to really help. But if they have a smaller channel and you're helping to support them and they're helping to support you, it definitely helps in the end because they may be able to break the 1,000 and be okay.
Well, my point is I've been doing this a long time. If you're doing it for the money, you're not doing it for the right reasons. That little bit of chump change that I've gotten from YouTube has still yet to pay for the cameras.
Oh yeah,
microphone.
Don't forget about that tripod.
Yeah, the tripod.
I mean, it's nice to get that little bit of kickback to help that, but I mean, even going out and shooting, I mean, it don't even cover my fucking ammo doing shooting videos and stuff, you know what I mean, or driving down to the farm. And you know what I got out of that? I got friendships. I have made lifelong friends from YouTube. I've made friends with YouTube people that I have never met and seen in my life in person. But you guys out there in the comment section, and, you know, I try to watch as many videos as I can and support everybody I can, and, you know, click on your video, give you a view, make a comment. But if you're doing it for the money, you're in it for the wrong fucking reason. You're not going to, just like Pop said in his video, you're not going to be the next damn YouTube star.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're going to have, if you're in the gun community, prepping community, RV community, whatever else community like that, you're not going to make money on YouTube.
Nope.
You're not. You're going to have to do stupid shit. You're going to have to fucking, like, you know, put your balls in the vise and clamp them shut or something like that. Then you'll get 1 million views and stuff, you know, or,
but wait till you're monetized to do that because you won't fucking get any.
You won't make any money on it. I never started YouTube to make money. I didn't monetize my site for years. But when I did, that little bit of kickback. And when I say little, it's little. Like I said, I hadn't even paid for my cameras yet. maybe paid for my cameras in my whole YouTube career. Maybe.
Well, and I think Pop's Quest actually is the one I've heard it from. He says, if you're trying to make money, you're better off going and driving delivery pizzas. You'll make way more money delivering pizzas than you ever would.
Yeah, you could not invest money in anything and go pick up beer cans on the side of the road and sell it for scrap metal. You'll make more money than you will off YouTube.
Guaranteed.
I'll tell you right now, I wish that I had time and we had time so I could open this article to read it. This is from Forbes. The highest paid YouTube stars of 2016, between the highest paid ones, what they did was they broke it down to the top 10 channels. The top 10 channels on YouTube have made a combined $7.5 million. $70.5 million between 10 channels. Yeah. But these are the guys that, and I know some of them because my kids watch them. I'd rather put a bullet in my brain than watch a single minute. But that's the stuff that YouTube wants. They want video games. They want families doing reviews on dumbass products. I mean, and that's what it is. And it's, wow.
Oh, for sure. Well, think of that. I don't know the name of the channel, but there's a kid, and all he does is review toys. He just plays with them. And he has fucking a shit ton of subscribers.
Mhm.
So his mom will buy them the latest and greatest freaking Fisher, whatever the hell those toys are. He'll open it up, he'll play with it, and that's his basically his side job as a kid. I mean, like a little kid, like 10.
Yeah, the thing is, if you're watching this chat, if you're doing the kind of videos we do, you're doing it, first of all, because you enjoy doing it. Second, in no order in particular, you enjoy the interaction, and probably whatever you're doing, you were doing anyway. I know that's the way it is with me. I mean, sometimes I do go out of my way to make videos sometimes, but a lot of times it's like, I need to shoot my CZ today. I feel like shooting today. Oh, fuck it. Put the camera up. Talking to the camera a little bit. I was going to shoot anyway. I felt like shooting. I wanted to smell some burnt gunpowder. Throw the camera up, and I get in front of the camera. Hey, what's up, YouTube? Blah, 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 blah. Bam, 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 bam. Close out. Load it up.
There you go. 2 cents later, boom.
Yeah, and that's the kind of videos I do. I mean, I'm not trying to build my channel. It's just like, maybe I can make somebody laugh because I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm just goofy as fuck.
See, and that I'm a little opposite. Like, I would like to build my channel, not for the money because there isn't any, but I think it would just be cool to have. Well, think of Coda Boy. He has 20,000 subscribers now. Like that.
Well,
that would feel good. Like all your hard work of making videos and meeting great people, and that's just magnified a lot. Like he's gotten more subs in the last 3 weeks than I have total because he's at that where people just click on a video and he comes up, and he makes good videos and they're like, subscribe.
Yeah.
He's getting the views, the internet. I don't know what the hell's it called.
If anybody wants to build their channel, do reviews, do comparisons between whatever it is. I don't care what it is. A fucking Tecumseh motor over a Briggs and Stratton. Do a review over that. I don't care what it is. I mean, you don't even have to have conclusive results. Just your opinion. Do review videos, versus videos, those kind of things. If you want to build your channel and you want to get views, do that. I mean, one of my bigger, I say money maker, didn't make that much. I mean, I've just been, since all this shit went down the last couple of days, I've been looking at my analytics and breaking it down. One of my bigger videos, even though it didn't have that many views, people watched it from front to back. And that's another thing. You can't just do a video and it gets a lot of views. It's the view time of that video. You have to pick subjects that people want to know every fucking little detail that you can give them. And do your best to give an honest, thorough thing. One of my bigger videos as far as a moneymaker is I changed the brushes in the alternator of my Ford F-150. It didn't get that many views, but the fact that I'm assuming that they probably put ads on it because I monetized it, of course, and they probably put ads on it for AutoZone or, whatever, O'Reilly, Ford, whoever. Evidently, a lot of people clicked on damn ads too, because it's like, well, shit, I can change the brushes in my alternator, and the AutoZone ad popped up, and they clicked on the AutoZone, whatever it was. I mean, it's only 10, 15,000 views, but it's actually one of the biggest money makers I ever made.
Mm-hmm.
I got a video with 300,000 videos I've made a few dollars on. I made a video on changing the brushes on the alternator in my Ford truck with 10 or 15,000 views. I made $100 off of it.
Yeah, it's hard. And that's the thing. You can spend 6 hours editing a video that ends up with 50 views, and you can make a stupid ass one on your phone that in 3 seconds, like a 2-minute video, and you may get a fucking zillion views. I mean, There is no rhyme or reason to it.
But I said those numbers, which according to YouTube policy, I'm not supposed to say that. But I'm telling you, after years and years and years, it's only a little bit of money. Yeah, I said that was one of my most money makers at $100 after 8 years. So if you're in it for the money, if you're in it and you get pissed off that they took your monetization away, trust me, you're not losing anything. You'll not notice anything. I hope they don't change. I don't know all the rules and regulations. I hope it don't change your ability to have custom thumbnails. And I don't think, from what I've gathered, I don't think it'll change your being able to have custom thumbnails, to do chats and all that. All it is whether you can monetize or not, from what I understand so far. So if that's all it is, and you're less than 1,000 subs, less than 4,000 hours of viewership, trust me, you hadn't lost anything anyway. It didn't affect you. They only pay you after you hit $100 anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that could take you 2-3 years, your first years.
Yeah, it's not like, well, look, I made $5 this month, and they send you a check for $5. No, until you hit $100, they're not sending you anything. You could be on YouTube for 10 years and not hit $100. So this is my 2 cents. Good, bad, or indifferent. I don't think it's censorship. I just think it's a policy to hopefully when I make a video, or once you get to that point, you make a video, they're not so scrutinized or not so quick to demonetize it because they got a vested interest in you. They are storing thousands and thousands of minutes of your video for free.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you hit a point, they say, you know what? We're going to start giving you a little bit back because you have proven yourself that people will watch your videos. And we're going to continue to store your shit for free. Thousands of minutes or hours of video. My shit from 2010 is still stored on a server, and you can go back and watch that.
Yep. Once we are dead, our kids, our relatives, our friends, if you're having a bad day, you can go back and say, you know, let's say TR drops over dead tomorrow. TR, I hate to use you for that. But the thing is, I mean, literally, you know, one of us drops over dead tomorrow. It's like, man, I fucking miss, you know, you can go back and you can watch it. Any of your family can go back and watch it. You're immortalized. I mean, is that, I mean, literally you're out there on the web.
And that's what I like about it. I've talked about that in some videos. And, you know, hopefully the format is always there and our stuff is always there because I do want that to happen. I want my kids to be able to go back and either get a viewpoint of me, of how I thought of a certain topic, or just being able to hear the voice of the person that is no longer around. You know, like there's a lot of pluses to it, I think it's pretty damn awesome. Like me personally, I would love to go click on my mom somehow. You know, she had a video and just hear her voice and, you know, see her smile and that kind of shit. Like that would be really bitching.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, try to look at the upside. Like I said, I've seen a lot of negative feedback about it, but I've seen other people break it down, and that's kind of where I got my opinion of it. And I was like, well, yeah, you got a point there. You know, it's like, when I started YouTube, I didn't even know people could subscribe to me. I didn't even know people could watch my videos. I uploaded them just so I could shoot it to Facebook faster. I was like, you know, canning tomatoes or something. And I was like, well, you know, just seeing videos and stuff on Facebook, I was like, well, looks like it's easier just to do it on YouTube and then upload it to Facebook. And that's what I done. Or not really upload it, just link it. And then I would say, why did 10 people watch? Who's these 10 people that watched my fucking video? How did they get my link? Who hacked me? Yeah. So
yeah, because you don't know how to put tags in. You don't know how to. There's a lot.
Yeah, you know, and then that's how my channel started. I mean, that's literally how my channel started. You know, and So I didn't get in it for the money. I didn't get in it to make friendships. I didn't get into it to interact with people. But YouTube has turned out to be the best social media website I've been involved with so far. I don't give a shit. I could demonetize it tomorrow. It really don't fucking matter. The fucking pennies I make off this shit don't. If I put a fucking price tag on my hourly wages at minimum wage, I wouldn't even be making minimum wage.
No, we wouldn't even be making close to minimum wage.
I'd still be better picking up beer cans on the side of the road.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I remember the coolest thing I remember about YouTube was the first time somebody shouted me out, and it was Van Prepper, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Like that was fucking awesome. Like somebody just said my channel name. Like I was all excited, right? You know, and then I got a little spike of people, you know, subscribers. I was like, "That's badass!" Like it was fucking cool. Like I try to do that every once in a while with some small channels.
Yeah.
We need to do that more. We need to go and we need to do that. Let's do that in our next videos. Find some.
We'll do some small channel shout outs.
We do some small channel shout outs.
Yep. I was involved in a little bit. There's some guys that are not on YouTube now or very seldom doing the small channel mafia is what they called it. And we would shout out small channels, you know. And when we say small, you know, if you got 1,000, 2,000 subs, you're shouting out somebody with 50 subs. That was what we was doing then. Oh fuck, I got 1,000 subs. I'm big time. Let me shout out somebody with 50 subs. Yeah. But that would get them a few subs, you know what I mean? That's how we was building each other up.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's the thing. If you guys are under 300, 500, close to 1,000, really try to go over to channels that are interesting, comment, say, you know, I really like your channel and I subscribed, you know, and that person may feel like, hey, I'll go check out his channel and do the same thing. Like that's one of the ways of making things. Don't be the chat person. Be all, if you subscribe to me, I'll subscribe to you. Like that's dumb.
Don't do that. Don't do that. If you want subs from other channels, watch their videos and comment. That's it. That's all you gotta do. And
you know, be genuine. Like learn. Like that's how like TR and I met, and like, you know, I liked what he had to. So I'd say, oh, that's badass or whatever. And then, you know, over a year or so, we started talking on the phone, and then we hung out and had dinner and drank beers. And yeah, TR comes over for Christmas when I'm around. Of course, he's got a girlfriend now. He don't want to do shit with me anymore. But
yeah, her ass looks better than yours.
That's good.
Nah, but seriously, comment on people's videos. If you want to build a channel, put out content. Comment on videos. Don't get pissed off if they don't reply. But the guys that reply or girls that reply, they will notice you. They will make a mental note. I try to reply to every comment unless other, you know.
Let Blue get out of here. He's fucking biting it.
Yeah, we got to end this anyhow. Let's go ahead and shut this down.
This is all because Blue wants to leave, by the way.
Well, it's already been 2 hours. God damn it! Shut up.
Yeah, 2 hours. Might be 2 hours in a couple minutes. So let's go ahead and end this. We was pretty serious this whole fucking chat. So I hope I didn't piss anybody off. We still got 50 viewers, so we must have kept their interest a little bit. And I'm gonna let y'all do an outro. And Blue, go ahead and do an outro.
Hey, the beginning part of February, I get to meet my man crush in my own state. I'm not going to say when, where, or however, but TR is coming here. So I'm super psyched about that. Can't wait. I don't know what the fuck we're going to do because you're going to a shithole town. Am I allowed to say shithole?
Hell yeah, you're allowed to say shithole.
CNN said it like 150 times in one night, so you're good.
Yeah. But no, I can't. It's actually it's pretty cool. But and that's what I'm talking about. You know, this last half hour has been about monetization, money, this, that. You know, making this on YouTube. Now it's about times like this to where, you know, last year I got to go down to South Carolina. I got to meet Rob, Rick, TR, and Christ, I'm not even going to name everybody. But and it's like, it's awesome. You like step in and it's like, oh my God, these guys are like superstars. You know, you what? And then there's also people there that looked at me and were like, you're a superstar. I'm like, what the hell? You know, what were you smoking before we met? But you know, that's what it's about. It's about the camaraderie. It's about the friendship. And, you know, there's friendships we've, you know, me, TR, Rick, Rob, you know, that's going to last forever. Coda Boy, Christ, I'm not going to name everybody, but that's what it's about. And TR's coming to Northwest PA. That's as vague as I'm going to get at some point in time, to where there's a lot of snow on the ground. So I can't wait to see how he reacts, and we'll catch you up here in a couple weeks. Good to see everybody. Great chat. It was pretty serious almost all night, which was a little different, but good. So we'll catch you guys next time.
I'm looking forward to it. We'll make it happen. Rick, what's up, man?
Not much. I've been trying to pump out some videos. I got a lot of good shooting in lately, and hooked up with my buddy who does a lot of good shooting. Can actually shoot, unlike me, and it was fun, man. We had a good time down in your neck of the woods. But other than that, been blasting videos out and trying to get a little updated, and, you know, work on getting more subscribers, that kind of shit.
Well, I seen I hadn't commented or actually watched it on my computer, but I actually watched one of your videos through the phone on Tool Monkeys. Tool Monkey was watching it, was taking a break. I just want to know, does that Doppler radar chronograph pick up the weather pattern? Can y'all predict the weather with that radar chronograph?
No, but it's badass.
Yeah, it is badass. Me and him was like,
it's like $600.
What kind of chronograph is that? And I looked it up. We was looking it up. It was like Doppler radar. It was like,
yeah,
holy shit.
You can do two. You can do two different. Right. You can do two. It'll distinguish the rounds, and it'll log it all. And it's an amazing. And you don't have to worry about the light. You don't have to worry about the stupid covers. You don't have to shoot between freaking V's. It's badass.
I was like, Doppler radar fucking chronograph. Are you fucking shitting me?
Yeah. Actually, I saw Tool Monkeys comment on there saying, who makes that?
Yeah, he looked it up, and we was looking at it. It was like, holy shit, Doppler radar. I didn't even know they. I was like, okay, I'm going to fuck with Rick. Can you predict the weather with it?
Yep. He can predict all sorts of shit. It's really cool. He has definitely top knowledge. And that's something I can bring out is he's really thinking about doing a channel. And if you want to learn anything about long range, any type of shooting sport, reloading, the guy is nothing but a plethora book of knowledge. Like, he's going to be putting out some badass videos, and he has pretty much every machine gun he can basically get to, every suppressor, if he does what he does, he could have one of the top channels on YouTube.
Yeah, cool shit, no doubt. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to end this, and hope everybody had a good time. I think it was a good chat, and we'll do it again next week. And if not, I'll see you. If you can't make it Sunday, I'll see you Tuesday. And later, everybody.